They didn't did it, y'all. They didn't did it. After months and fucking months of negotiating with upper management at K the Classic, they finally gave me my own show. It's me. It's just gonna be me and you. We chilling. It's gonna be us. It's gonna be the two of us. You know, we're gonna be talking, and I'm just gonna give you just just a couple of my rants, a couple of things I can't talk about on the podcast because Kev tells me not to say certain shit, and it's just time. But today I'm gonna start off, with my first passion. I'm gonna let you a little insight on who Jarrell is. I'm a music buff. So, to get to my heart, if you love music, you gotta know your shit when, especially nowadays, because there's just so much content. It's just being flooded out there with SoundCloud and YouTube artists coming up every day. Actual good albums are rare to come by. So anytime you get a good one, you really have to value it. So if you get a complete album, which is not these 6-song EPs that they started doing recently, an actual album, kind of like what Kanye does. uh, when you get an actual album, gotta appreciate it. So today, I decided I want to give you my 10 most influential albums that people may not expect, that maybe some albums that are on here that influence, my music taste, and it's not going to be all, yay, which it could be. If it was, it was. That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But no, I'm gonna mix it up. I actually have a lot of very good taste in different kinds of music. So if I had to start with one album that influenced me, I would say it has to be uh, "Back to Black" by Amy Winehouse. It's possibly one of the most like deepest written albums you can hear front to back. Me and Mrs. Jones, uh, the Rehab song about fighting addiction. Like there was a lot of things that she put in that album, and her death in 2011. That album kind of feels eerie to me now, where it's kind of like, I don't know, where it's like feels like she's talking to herself, for like she knew what was going to happen. Like she was just going down this path and she didn't want to get off of it. And this is what this album's about. Like so Back to Black, if you have any time in your day to get into Back to Black, you can literally spin it from Rehab, Me and Mrs. Jones, Back to Black is another track. It's just incredible. And I wish there was more time for Amy Winehouse on this earth. And I wish there was time that we could have gave her flowers. Luckily, there was tracks with her and Nas. But overall, I just really feel like this piece of this gem, this was a moment for us right there. And that album came out in 2006. And that was an incredible album. But moving on to the next album, which people may not expect, but I was a big R&B head, like really big into R&B. This is gonna be the number 9 album. No, but this is also, let me preface this. No real ranking on this. I'm gonna rank them, but I love all these albums equally. But number 9, I'm gonna go with Carl Thomas Emotional. It has to be one of the most slept on albums in the history of music. I don't understand how this nigga could put so much fucking pain in one fucking album and leave nothing for the second one. But Carl Thomas did it. I'm talking about, he made the song I Wish I Never Met Her. I'm about to cry right now. But that song alone, where did it, doom, 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 that right there just makes you fucking cry alone. And then the song Emotionless, Carl Thomas put so much pain in that fucking album. I don't know why Diddy robbed us from another one. Diddy, you owe us another Carl Thomas album. You owe us another Carl Thomas album. We need more. If we can get a TGT group, we need to get Carl Thomas, Dave Hollister, Donnell Jones, and put them in a group and come back out. That's the group right there. All right. So I'm moving on to album number 8. I'm gonna get to my Kanye album. And this is my first Kanye album, and I'm gonna go with Graduation. Graduation always, I always point to, it's funny because my relationship with his music, people think it's just a stand, but I feel like every time Kanye puts out an album, I feel like it's a moment in my time that I'm going through some shit, and that album piece of music has gotten me through whatever. Like even right now with Ye, like Ye has been a big help with my battling of depression and learning about getting my relationship right with God. So my relationship with Kanye runs deeper than just I like his music and he makes good beats. Like I kind of understand like a lot of the things that he comes from and things that he says. So when I say Graduation was a moment in time where I felt as a person I was like coming into my own. I remember it because, like I said, it was an album that went against 50 Cent's Curtis. And it was just, like I said, it was just one of his best pieces of work. Flashing Lights is a song you could play forever. Like you'll play Flashing Lights, the instrumental 20 years from now. My favorite, one of my all-time favorite Kanye West song is I Wonder. And that samples on there. And that literally that album, front to back, incredible, incredible. It literally that was the album where I knew, okay, this Kanye is gonna be different, especially when he had that can't get wait till I get my money right, which is an anthem for anybody trying to get their paper. So that album alone was it kind of just stamped yay for me. So that's gonna be what so I didn't that probably album's gonna be probably my it's number 8 on this list, but it's number 1 for me as far as Kanye's albums, if that makes sense. So, but then you'll see why later on in the list. The next one I'm going to is Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. It has a song Superstitious on it. Songs in the Key of Life, I didn't even know what I was listening to as a kid. Like it was kind of like more so I just was just listening, bopping along. I didn't really understand the music and what I was the music I was intaking in. And it became one of my all-time favorite albums as I grew up, and my grandfather Chip used to play all the time. And that album is literally you could just literally cut that song that album on and play it front to back. And it's one of the most influential albums of music because Stevie Wonder is an all-time legend. If you have any time to listen to that the Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life, get that definitely in you. That is one of the most, I would say, because nowadays you don't really have in between music like that. Like, I guess the closest you can get is Bruno Mars consistently, where it's like it's not R&B, but it's in between, but good beat and chord and sound and drum and all the aesthetics that come along with music and actual making good music. You don't get many of those productions nowadays, rare if any. So if you get to like those like albums that's produced like that, it's great. You need to go back and listen to it. It's probably, like I said, it's one of these transcendent albums where I felt like music was going in a different direction, especially for Black people as a whole. And we're coming out of the Motown era during that time, and Stevie just, becoming a bigger artist himself. So that being said, so I took you from Amy Winehouse, Carl Thomas, Ye, Stevie Wonder. That's 4 right there. So the last 6, this next one is somebody who I felt it was taken away from us way too soon. I'm gonna have to say is Victory Lap by Nipsey Hussle. That album, I felt like it was a story that I didn't know about. Like there was, like I said, just from being from LA, like there's parts of LA where it's just like there's parts you don't know about, and and I've always wanted to hear that story and success story of the vision that he painted from Blue Laces to Double Up. He gave these bone chilling verses that I feel like they're gonna write in scriptures one day. I feel like this words that were spoken to us from a prophet, and he was taken away from us too soon, unfortunately. Just the song with him and Kendrick is incredible. I think it's the best song probably on the album. It just, you got to go back and just, Victory Lap, and I hate that was his last, that was the last piece of work we got from him. And I just really think that we really got to keep spinning that. Keep spinning Victory Lap, because I don't think people understand the message that was portrayed in that. And the thing that he pulled, what he pulled off, because he was selling mixtapes for $200 and everybody would start calling him fucking crazy. Or, or when he sold mailbox money, he was selling them for like, actually $1,000 a copy. He was selling them for $1,000 a copy. I'm corrected. And to go from that and to see his championship and Victory Lap and him from to pass away after that, it's unfortunate. And I really think that, like I said, that album should really, have some time where we go back and we play it and sit with it and really appreciate the words and the melodies that was being spoken to us. So with the next album, top 5, back-to-back, it's gonna be back-to-back Kanye albums. I'm gonna go with My Dark Twisted Fantasy and College Dropout. I don't like ranking these two. It's a big compromise for me, so I can't flip them or vice versa. I personally believe My Dark Twisted Fantasy is the greatest rap album ever assembled, and there's nothing topping that. I just think that just with bars, lyrics, melody, So Appalled, where I think Ye had the best verse on So Appalled. I think Nicki had the best verse on Monster. Then Ye killed Rick Ross on Devil in a Blue Dress. Ye also got Jay on College Dropout as well. But that being said, the production on both of those two albums, you can just, if Kanye had dropped that album with just production alone and nobody rapped on it, it probably would have went fucking platinum. So that album, those two, so College Dropout, My Twisted Dark Fantasy, I think those are by far his most glamorized work, especially My Dark Twisted Fantasy. I think because he had Power on there, which is like, it was an incredible track. And it just, My Dark Twisted Fantasy, it was literally a masterpiece if you play it from beginning to end of it. And so is College Dropout, my favorite sample ever from Kanye West, Through the Wire. That is the Shaka Khan sample. So I love that song, and I think that personally, I personally think that College Dropout might be his most album that people love the most, but I would say my personal favorite is Graduation. So that being said, to the top 3. These top 3, no order. Like I said, this is just all albums I feel like a lot of the, you guys have slept on and haven't listened to yet. You really haven't heard it yet. But this next one, I really think that I'm gonna get killed for this. But I gotta go with Here I Stand. And the reason why I say Here I Stand is because I think it's better than Confessions. And the reason why I say that is because Here I Stand had Before I Met You on there, Moving Mountains. He had a track with Beyonce, In the Club, the song with Jay. Confessions almost lost me because it was so deep, and then he hit me with that one track, Come Follow Me Now. It had to grow on me. I didn't like that track at first, and I didn't like Bad Girl at first. Like Confessions, if you ask me, everything on Confessions fits except Bad Girl. Because and I didn't even, those could have been bonus tracks. And then he left off 2 of the best tracks on the album, which was My Boo and I forgot the other one he came out with. But I personally think, and I'm gonna get killed for this, so DM me your hate, Here I Stand is better than Confessions. It is. And if you really want to get deep into it, Robin Thicke wrote most of Confessions any fucking ways. Can You Handle It? That's all Robin Thicke. But I digress. That was my number 3 album. Usher's a legend. Until he did, Raymond versus Raymond. Then we're gonna go with the last two albums. These last 2, I kind of been going back and forth on all day as I've been thinking about, the history of of music. What influenced me? What did I really like? What changed me? What switched me? And I remember a moment. I want to bring back moments. I remember I was in the car with Jesse and he played Clipse Hell Have No Fury. And I was never really an East Coast dude like that. And that album, Hell Have No Fury, that when I say we memorized that damn album from front to back, and when I say that is one of the best rapped albums you're ever going to hear, like when I say Clipse hopped on that shit, Pusha T, Malice, and I say they played no games on that shit, it's one of my all-time favorite rap albums. You can literally, if you listen to the bars, like see nowadays we get away from the bars because of the melody. Like you got rappers like Playboy Cardi, who's 90% bars. I mean 90% melody, excuse me. But you get to actual bars, and with the Neptune's production, I think that album, like I said, people are gonna sleep on it because people don't even think that's their best work. They think Lord Willing is their best work. To me, it's Hell Hath No Fury. So that is my number two because that really pushed me to East Coast rap, and I didn't really even like East Coast rap at that point. So that also brings me to my number one album, which would be Westside Connection, Bow Down. And the reason why I say this is because I wasn't even allowed to listen to rap music for most of my fucking life because my parents wouldn't even allow it. They kind of had this whole R&B. I mean, but here's the thing, parent, mom and dad, we were listening to a certain Aura Kelly, if I can say his name, but and now and all the shit that you said I couldn't listen to then, was it that much fucking worse? Sorry, I had to get that off. Um, uh, uh, it's going to be Bow Down because I wasn't even allowed to listen to rap music. And Deshaun, when I was 17, he played that album for me, and I didn't even like Cube like that or really West Coast rap. I really was listen to a bunch of R&B, and I literally played the Bow Down Westside Connection album. And like I said, Deshaun really introduced me to, I would say if I had to give anybody credit for my real introduction to actual hip hop, my homie Deshaun gave me that with Westside Connection and listening to all types of shit and like Brother Lynch and all types of shit. And it kind of opened my eyes up to a whole bunch of other shit. So that album really influenced me because it was the first album, like I said, I was able to listen to. My mom cursing in it, and she was like, "This is the shit you like to listen to now." And then that moment, she knew the change was coming. But like I said, they were listening to shit that nowadays, like I said, mama, you used to two-step to a drink to a pedophile. So, all right. But at the end of the day, this is my first episode. You're gonna be getting more of me. I got more coming. The next, we got more episodes coming with those millennials guys. We're just right. We just got to work out some contract issues. So if you got any, if you want to subscribe to us, subscribe to us now before while the contract labor issues are going on. DM at K the Classic and say you want more Rell. Give you more Rell. And hit he's the manager of us, and he muzzles me. So I really was going to tell you what happened in Victorville the night that Jesse didn't tag me in. There's a story in San Bernardino that I haven't told yet. There's just a bunch of things that we haven't gotten to. And guess what? We're going to get into it here because it's just me and they can't muzzle me. And that's the beauty of it. And that's the beauty of this. So, in closing, listen to those albums. Tell me which ones you like. Tell me what your favorite 10 albums were. All right. Rell Rant, we out.